Was coordinator of the Heritage Zone Marquee. I invited most of the people that are in there. We come here every year because it's a great footfall, it's a great day out, and we get to spread the word about local history.
And today, as you realise, there are several characters lurking about, and I'm here representing Daniel Defoe, his link with Thurrock. And Daniel Defoe actually was a bit of an Essex lad. He was looking to make a lot of money, and he opened a brick and tile works at Tilbury. A very good scheme until brickworks, tile works went bust. So he decided he'd write a book which you may or may not have heard of, called Robinson Crusoe.
A lot of people, I used to work in the city, would always say that Thurrock is all industrial, and it's not true. You've got beautiful villages. I mean, Shipwrights Cottages at Fobbing used to be a pub, and not many people know that. It had associations with smuggling. The best hoard of Iron Age coins ever found in this country was found at Corringham, and they're called the Thurrock Potings.
But probably the most important part of our heritage is our role as a shipping port. Port of London is still the second largest port in the country. 80% of that tonnage is landed here in Thurrock, which is why I always say that Thurrock is and was the port's capital of the UK.
Right, I'm Philip Edgar. I'm with the Tilbury Riverside project, and we take local history walks to teach people about their local history, places they walk past every day, and it's only when we tell them the stories that they realise what is on their doorstep.
Well, I'm chairman of the Coalhouse Fault project, and we are a volunteer group who take care of maintaining the fault. It was built because Napoleon III was perceived to go and literally try and take over the world. Lord Palmerston decided in Parliament that they would have a Royal Commission to improve the defences on the Thames, and it was one of three that was supervised by what became General Gordon of Khartoum.
I'm from the Essex Record Office, and the Historical Society invited us to come along to the show today to be part of the Heritage Zone and just bring a few bits from the County Archive to let people know that we're here, fly the flag for the county collection that we have. So we've got some bits about the history of the Orsett show. I did some research on the Orsett show this week because I knew we were coming. I know now it dates back to ploughing matches in the 1840s, where they'd have a little ploughing competition, then all go down the pub, have a nice meal, give out some prizes.
Today I'm in tribute to a gentleman called the Reverend William Palin, who was the first person who ever wrote a history book devoted to part of Thurrock. Thurrock had got mentioned in history books before, Queen Elizabeth and the Tilbury Armada speech, but the first history book written about a part of Thurrock, totally about a part of Thurrock, was by William Palin, who, as I say, was a vicar of Stifford in the 19th century.
So something that people might not know about Thurrock, this is one of my favourite things here. This is a map and it shows planning for Operation Overlord, also known as D-Day, of how troops and vehicles are going to be marshalled through the county down to the port of Tilbury. And you do come across people who do remember having trucks and tanks parked up all along their street in readiness.
I had a look at the map of the old maps of Essex, but in the past I've got leaflets and books from here to learn about our history.
Something in Thurrock's history that people may not know about is another man of the cloth, John Pell, who invented the division sign. Mathematics didn't have a division sign until he invented it, and he was a vicar of one of the Thurrock parishes. Favourite historical fact, I think, is the big excavation that took place here between 1965 and 1978, where they uncovered the archaeology of Saxon village, Saxon cemeteries.
What's my favourite historical fact? My goodness me, there's so many of them. Well, I guess it's the one that everyone knows, which is Elizabeth I with her famous speech, where she sent everyone off to fight the war of the Armada. That's the one that everyone knows, but I don't think enough people associate it with Thurrock, and I think generally we can make much more of our heritage in terms of talking Thurrock up.
James Temple, who was a parliamentarian, fought in the Civil War, and he was actually the judge at Charles I's execution, and he actually signed a death warrant.
Oh, I suppose at the moment my favourite historical fact living in Aveley would be a lady called Kate Luard, who had the distinction of having the Red Cross and Bar in the First World War like Florence Nightingale. She joined up with the Queen Alexander's Imperial Nursing Service, I think it's called, and went out to the front, and she was out in the front lines out there at ambulance stations for the duration of the war.
Well, what we would like to do is to interest people in Thurrock's heritage, and we're going to be choosing some new people to go on Thurrock heritage plaques. So we'd like everyone who comes to visit our heritage zone to think about who they would like to see on a new Thurrock heritage plaque.
Yeah, a really fascinating history in Thurrock that most people just don't know about, but it's there if you just scratch the surface.